Hello, my name is Reiko Osoroshi. On this channel, I narrate Japanese ghost stories. Today, I will narrate Ghost Story The Mentor Series Part 2, Visible and Invisible. The previous story and Part 1's URL are provided in the description box, so please take a look. Visible and Invisible. Let's go on a dare. I barged into my senior's apartment and said that right off the bat. It was the scorching late summer of my first year in high school. My senior looked puzzled. That's unusual. Are you inviting me? He asked. Indeed, I was. I had always been dragged into all sorts of crazy things by my senior, but today was different. The backstory was quite simple. I had a friend from junior high who was also an occult enthusiast. His name was Hanayama, and he had told me an interesting story. You know that tunnel that's still under construction up in the pass? Well, I saw something there. The pass he was talking about was right near our school, and we ironically called it the Glamorous Pass. The character for glamorous was actually different, but it was so far from being glamorous that we sarcastically gave it that name. There was indeed a tunnel there, left unfinished and abandoned without even proper pavement. It had probably been there since before we were born. Although it was technically off limits, delinquents and biker gangs would often go in there. But you've been there before, haven't you? Were you not there at that time? To begin with, that place had a notorious reputation as a haunted spot. As mentioned earlier, even the delinquents and biker gangs, under the pretext of a dare, would ransack the place. Of course, my friend and I, who both claimed to be the town's top occult freaks strangely, we never backed down from that claim, had visited a few times. Well, yeah, I have. But yesterday, when I passed by at night, there was something pretty incredible there. Invite that guy and let's go. The claim that he just happened to pass by was probably a lie. His house was in the opposite direction, and I could understand the occasional urge to go check out such places. This story required the premise that Hanayama's psychic abilities were genuine, and that was reassuring. After all, he had my senior's approval. I thought, perhaps I'll surprise my senior for once, and in hindsight, it was a very reckless thought. After school, I stormed over. So, this evening, maybe we should wait a bit longer until the sun sets before going. My senior calmly said, trying to reassure me, as I was unusually motivated. No, nighttime is not an option. If we're going, we should go now. Or even earlier, like during the daytime. I was taken aback. Could it be that he feared the world at night? This person, who seemed to harbor the night itself within him. Why not? Dares like these are meant to be done after it gets dark. There's an atmosphere in everything. My senior stayed silent and shook his head. Alright, then. I'll go by myself. As I tried to stand up, he stopped me with his hand. Hesitated for a moment, and then finally opened his mouth, making vague sounds like, ah, and, before closing it again. It seemed like he was struggling to say something. Just as I was starting to doubt whether he was really scared. The pedestal on which I had admired my senior began to crumble, and he finally uttered a few words. I can't see them. I tilted my head, not understanding the meaning of his words, and he continued. At night, I can't see them. At least not the way I can now. If you guys go, it might be better, especially if you go at night. I was utterly perplexed. Ghosts and spirits were typically associated with coming out at night. Moreover, this person had claimed to have seen such things at night countless times before. What do you mean? My senior chuckled self-deprecatingly. Think about it. Daytime is the time when things that can be seen are visible. Nighttime is the time when things that can be seen, well, can't be seen anymore. Things that are obvious during the day become invisible at night. So, what does that mean? It means that I can see those beings, the same way I can see regular humans. That's why, at night, it takes something even scarier for me to see them. It took me a few seconds to grasp it. So, you mean, everything I've seen before, the things I've encountered, they're things that you, in normal circumstances, wouldn't be able to see, no matter how hard you try. I could see them because I was with you. You and others like Hanayama can see things at the level of, say, making a fuss. You can see them walking around. So maybe that's why you can't see them at night. At night, it's the time for things that you can't normally see to become visible. For example, empty candy wrappers, people walking outside, bicycles, cats, and those amorphous entities that you can't even be sure qualify as matter. They all appear at the same density. That's why you can't see them at night. At night, things that are normally visible disappear, and it's the time for things that are normally invisible to become visible. Well, maybe in a little while, day and night won't matter anymore, but right now, I can't see them. Let's go somewhere scarier next time. Today, I was told to go home, and my senior waved goodbye. I obediently complied and straddled my bike parked in front of the apartment. The sun was already starting to set. I looked towards the Glamorous Pass. I pedaled up the uphill road, which was somewhat cracked in places, although it was paved. Near the summit, there was a tunnel. On one side, there was a fully constructed, impressive tunnel. A bit off the path, there was the tunnel we were talking about, with no pavement. I got off my bike and pushed it closer. The sun had almost disappeared, and the interior of the tunnel was dark, with only darkness visible. I stretched my neck, hoping to see something, but in the depths, there was nothing but darkness, stretching endlessly. How was it? Have you ever had a spiritual experience? If you have, please share it in the comments below. And if you haven't experienced anything, it might just be that you haven't noticed, but there could be something really eerie right beside you. If you have any other stories you would like me to introduce or any questions about the stories, please leave a comment. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thank you, and stay tuned for the next episode.